Well, it is the 28th of May 2024. This is the bottom line here on Lookuptv on a day that the debate surrounding the ban on the transportation, distribution and use of Muguka in Mombasa, Taita Taveta and Kilifi counties has taken center stage. Now that, among many other stories we've prepared for you tonight, first of all, let's have a look at the stories making headlines tonight.
Tonight on the Bottomline, Muslim clerics in Garissa call for the ban of Muguka and Mirror in all northern counties. Treasury PS Dr. Kipto grilled over plans to lower debt burden as Kenya projects a fiscal deficit of 500 billion shillings in the coming 2024-25 financial year. And
mama mmoja.
Sasa hakuna mahali hata ukulala, ukienda kasi unatokea na mahali umetokea leo.
Two children are tragically killed in a fire incident in Kagumo, Kirinyaga County.
Now, welcome to the program. Our sign language interpreter is Josephine Oko. Rian Keitani is my name. Remember, you can watch this bulletin live on our Facebook and YouTube pages at Lookuptv. We kickstart our bulletin now, and the High Court sitting in Embu County has suspended the ban on Muguka in Mombasa, Kilifi and Taita Taveta counties. In a ruling on Tuesday, Justice Lucy Njuguna issued a restraining order to the counties from effecting the ban on Muguka until the 8th of July 2024. This, of course, follows the meeting chaired by President William RUTO yesterday at State House, Nairobi, a meeting attended by Cecily Mbarire, the Governor for Embu County, and Agriculture CS Mithika Linturi.
As the debate regarding the decision by Governors Abdul Somad Sharif Nasser and Gideon Mung'aro to ban the transportation, distribution and use of Muguka in their counties, a move that has forced President William Ruto to intervene. The High Court in Embu has temporarily suspended the ban. In a ruling on Tuesday, Justice Lucy Njuguna issued a restraining order to the counties from effecting the ban on Muguka until July 8th, 2024. Justice Njuguna ruled that the application will be served upon respondents within 7 days from Tuesday, with Mombasa County government being the first to announce the ban on the sale and distribution of the crop. President William Ruto on Tuesday held a phone conversation with coast governors who imposed a ban on the sale and use of Muguka in their counties. The president having talks with Governor Abdul Somad Sharif Nasser of Mombasa, Gideon Mung'aro of Kilifi, and Andrew Mwadime of Taita Taveta through his X account, revealing that the leaders agreed to participate in a stakeholders meeting to address the move to ban Muguka in the three counties. The Commander-in-Chief also noted that a meeting between leaders from all affected counties will be held next week to discuss the way forward. This follows a meeting convened at State House, Nairobi by President Ruto, a meeting that brought together leaders from Embu County led by Governor Cecily Mbarire and attended by Agriculture CS Franklin Mithika Linturi. It is during the meeting that Linturi explained that Muguka is a scheduled crop under the Crops Act 2013 and Mirror Regulations of 2023. Ruto further ordered Agriculture CS Mithika Linturi to convene a forum of all parties and stakeholders concerned and come up with a solution. This comes amid demonstrations by residents of Embu County who protested against the ban, calling on President William Ruto to find a lasting solution.
This was so unfair of Governor of Mombasa and his colleagues. You know, waking up and deciding that we are going to ban a cash crop that has over 105,000 farmers in Embu alone. In fact, if we follow that, that chain, we have over a million people affected. So this was so unfair. These are what we call insensitive decisions.
Rais wetu William Ruto aingilie kati, angalia maslahi watu wa Muguka, aingilie kati watu wa Embu. Unajua Muguka ndiyo cash crop yetu. Hakuna kazi nyingine tunafanyanga ni kuuza miraa.
Elsewhere in Garissa County, SUPKEM leaders have called on governors drawn from the northeastern region to follow suit and ban the crop in the region.
Tunataka governors kutoka Garissa, Wajir, Mandera, Isiolo, Tana River, Marsabit wafuate hiyo mfano na hiyo drug isimamishwe katika hizi county, kwa sababu tumemaliza afya ya watu wetu, tumemaliza elimu ya watu wetu, tumemaliza rasilimali ya watu wetu, na inaongeza hata mambo ya security.
Ian Keitani, Lookuptv.
That story was produced by Nancy Nelima, and just to put it into context is that according to the meeting held yesterday, Muguka is not a drug, and Kwale Governor Fatuma Achani yesterday said she will not follow suit and join her counterparts from Kilifi, Mombasa and Taita Taveta in banning that particular crop, as there is no law that says Muguka is a drug, as actually it has been scheduled it has been indicated as a scheduled crop under the Crops Act of 2013 and the Mira Act over 2023. We'll continue to follow on that particular debate and keep you updated in regards to what will be the way forward after the scheduled stakeholders meeting next week, and of course the leaders of political leaders drawn from the affected counties next week, led by President William Ruto. Now, to ban or not to ban Muguka has been the big question in the recent weeks, as leaders in the coastal region raised concerns about its effects socially and on building the economy. Farmers and traders on their part say that Muguka farming is their livelihood. Tonight, we ask your take on the matter.
With concerns arising over the recent ban of Muguka in some parts of the counties, President William Ruto yesterday met with the leadership of Embu County led by Governor Cecily Mbarire to discuss the matter.
Apologies for that. We will be bringing you that story later on in this particular bulletin. Let's talk matters finance now, and the National Treasury Principal Secretary, Dr. Chris Kipto, was today grilled about plans to lower the national debt burden at a time when Kenya has projected a fiscal deficit over 514 billion shillings in the coming financial year. Now, during a meeting with the National Assembly Public Debt and Privatization Committee, Kipto further stated that the public debt stood at 10.5 trillion shillings as of April this year.
34.7%. This makes us one of the, when you look at the average for most countries in Africa, we're talking about 27. Ours is much higher. So the point is that we must make a choice on how to finance our budget.
PS Chris Kipto told MPs that there was a decline in revenue collection for the current financial year, insisting that the said deficit would be financed through domestic borrowing of 258.9 billion shillings and projected external borrowing of 256.8 billion shillings, as members sought details as entailed in the 1.2 trillion shillings undisbursed loans, which Kipto complained was as a result of relatively high constant commitment fee that the loan has attracted for the past 7 years.
This is what we have attempted in the fiscal year coming next year. We have tried to cut expenditure drastically, and I know many people are not happy with that.
According to the PAs, the public debt as of 30th April 2024 stood at 10.5 trillion shillings, representing 65.3% of the gross domestic product of the country, alluding that the government intends to keep the fiscal deficit at 3.5 and not at the current 5.5, sentiments that reveal that currently, as it is on deficit financing, for every 100 shillings revenue collected, 6 shillings is used to pay debts, urging respective stakeholders to live within means by rationalizing expenditures which will minimize borrowing.
It's like 70% of what we get as taxes will be used to settle this, minimize how much we borrow. Because to me, it's not sustainable going forward, where we have to keep borrowing the way we have been doing. And
committee members led by Chairperson Balabala MP Abdi Shure Omar grilled the PS, Treasury and team on a raft of other public debt-related matters, including Treasury's plans to lower the national debt portfolio, as well as strategies to cut on unnecessary government expenditures to minimize borrowing.
Talking about debt. So if there are any reforms, as you said, to the law, it will be good we move first so that we're able to give also Kenyans that assurance that we're doing everything we can to make sure they understand what their debt portfolio is and all that, how it's being managed.
At times there's that delay in terms of implementation. I would want to hear whether there are any plans to involve some of these departments as you said for these laws, so that you don't have that long delay, because that's what causes commitment fee actually.
Moving loans and taking a decision to say they are not necessary we cancel. And then we have identified a few that we need to cancel even within the World Bank. And that critical analysis should actually be able to unlock a situation where we can reallocate existing portfolio rather than taking new loans.
Stanley Lugaria, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
Now, the university vice-chancellors and principal of constituent colleges have affirmed that the new university funding model is operational. Speaking at State House Nairobi, where they met President William RUTO, the VCs noted that in 3 years, financial challenges facing universities will have been sorted out.
Our Maker, our Redeemer, and our Sustainer, it is to you that we come this morning in gratitude for the gift of this nation and for the gift of the stewardship that you have given each one of us over segments of this nation. We watch.
On to a very sad story now. 2 children died in the wee hours of Tuesday morning after a fire razed down their home in Kagumo area of Kirinyaga County. According to police reports, the fire broke out after their mother left the 2 aged 4 months and 4 years old to rush to the shops. Now, eyewitnesses say the fire spread too rapidly and efforts to save the children became rather futile. Investigations have been launched to establish the cause of the fire.
As the night fell on Monday night, so did the lives of the 2 children who tragically burned to the death of Kagumo, Kirinyaga County. Police reports now indicate that the fire started around the same time that their mother had left to buy a few things at the shop.
Jana usiku kama saa 1:30 saa 2 hivi kulikuwa na janga la moto na ilikuwa mbaya sana. Na wakati nyumba moja mama ya watoto walienda, wale waliaga wawili alienda kununua mboga hapo tu nje karibu, ndio moto ikaanzia huko. Labda kunaonekana kama ni kando, sababu token yake anasema ilikuwa imepima, ndio ikasababisha hiyo nyumba zingine zote. Unfortunately, ndio watoto wake wawili wakapoteza maisha.
According to the fire marshals and locals in the area, the fire spread so fast and blocked the door entry of the house, making it impossible to save the 2 children aged 4 months and 4 years.
Kuna nyumba ziliwaka, lakini simamoto walikuja na wakafanya hima wakasima moto, lakini kuna watoto wawili waliaga wa mama mmoja. Ninashukuru hata askari wa hapa, kwa sababu wakati niliwaambia kuna moto walikuja haraka na wakaanza kazi yao.
Chief of the Kirinyaga County Fire Department, John Kiama, has stated that the police have initiated an investigation to determine the source of the fire, which is said to have destroyed property of unknown value. The bodies of the children were moved to a local mortuary awaiting for postmortem.
Hapa Kagumo kuna nyumba inawaka na tukakuja biubiu kuja kutuone kama tutaokoa maisha, tukaanza kupambana na hii moto, lakini wakati tulifika tulikakuta nyumba ni sabao, nyumba zote ni salento, zilikuwa 20 na moto ulikuwa mkubwa sana. Tukapambana na hii moto na wakati tulimalizana na moto tukakuta watoto wawili wamekufa. Mmoja ni kijana wa miezi 4 na huyo mwingine ni wa miaka 4.
Naomi Akot, Lookuptv.
A very sad story, and on that note, we take a brief break. We'll be back with more. Don't go away.
Wamefungua shuleni na wanaendelea na harakati zao za masomo, na vile vile wazazi wanajitahidi jinsi wawezavyo. Ukiangalia jinsi mandhari yalivyo, wanajikakamua angalau baada ya siku wapate karo.
Second term is a very critical term. You know, it is a term whereby most of the schools in this country run with time to complete the syllabus. then now embark on revisions.
Tunavyoangalia shughuli ya masomo inaendelea na wanajituma angalau wawezavyo ili kuandika lile litakalokuja na lile ambalo wanahisi kwamba ni la busara.
Kama sasa tumearrange program na walimu ya kwamba waweze kuja asubuhi na lesson nyingine moja jioni na weekend moja. Mungu akitujalia nafikiri that we will be able to recover the time lost.
Wiki hii kwenye bunge la wenyeji tutaangazia taswira halisi ya jinsi mambo yalivyo kuhusiana na masuala ya elimu hapa nchini Kenya.
Kipindi ni ukulima ni mali na manjoro. Kumbuka hapa ndipo unajifunza mambo mengi kuhusu ukulima. Kilimo ni uti wa mgongo wa nchi, na ukiwa na njoro unajifunza. Kumbuka, angalia mwenyewe. Tunakuambia ukitaka kujua tips za ukulima, ungana na sisi kwenye Lookuptv. Every Sunday unatukuta pale saa 10, tunakuonesha kuhusu ukulima. Ukulima wa mimea, ukulima wa ng'ombe, ukulima wa kuku, ukulima wa mbuzi na yote ambayo yanahusiana na ukulima. Kumbuka nini? Kipindi ni ukulima ni mali.
Now, thank you very much for staying with us. We continue with a bulletin now, and a middle-aged woman has been arraigned in an Eldoret court over the kidnapping of 2 children and demanding 1 million shillings ransom. The children, aged 10 and 9, were taken from Uruma Estate in Uasin Gishu County and had been in the hands of their captors for 4 days before the arrest of the kidnapper. Chief Magistrate Dennis Mekoyan has granted the police 7 days to conclude their investigations.
Mimi mchunguzi wa kesi naona ambaye iliripotiwa hapo Uruma Police Station, kesi ya kidnapping hizo watoto na kuitisha pesa, ambaye iliripotiwa na respondent na mwingine anaitwa Dorcas, ambaye ilikuwa ya wizi ya watoto wawili, ambaye mtoto mmoja ni 9 years na mwingine ni 10 years.
Yes. Unahitaji nini kwa timu?
Yaona kwa uchunguzi yangu naomba siku 7 ndio niweze kupata yaona call data ya respondent na mshtakiwa mwingine ambaye yaona hatujampata anaitwa Iva na ambaye alikuwa na demand pesa. Pia kuna washahidi ambao tunahitaji waandike.
Now, still on the corridors of justice, a Kiambu court has allowed detectives to detain a police officer for 14 days at the Kiambu police station, pending investigations over the murder of a U.S. embassy staff shot dead on Sunday morning in Kiambu. Now, in the shooting, 36-year-old Lawrence Njomo died from a stray bullet while passing near a scuffle between the police suspect and 2 others. Martin Masharia tells us more.
In the early hours of Sunday morning, the vibrant city of Kiambu was shaken by a tragic incident that unfolded outside a popular club. Lawrence Njomo, a 36-year-old civil engineer working with the American embassy, became an unfortunate victim of the fatal shooting. As the night wore on and the revelry continued, an altercation among some club goers escalated into a heated quarrel. Tensions ran high. In the midst of the commotion, a stray bullet found its way to Njomo, who was innocently observing the unfolding scene from across the road. CCTV footage captured the heart-wrenching moment as Njomo fell on the ground, his life abruptly cut short. The tragedy unfolded at approximately 2:40 a.m., leaving the community in shock and disbelief. Kiambu County Commissioner Michael Mushiri confirmed the incident, revealing that a police officer is among the 3 suspects arrested in connection with the crime.
Tragically, a 36-year-old man was fatally shot and is now deceased. 3 individuals are in custody, and we can confirm that amongst the 3 individuals, all male is a police officer, a serving police officer. Further to that, we can confirm that a firearm has also been retrieved from the officer. It is suspected that this firearm could have fired the fatal shot. But this is something again that is under investigation. This is not something that we can confirm.
The trio appearing before Justice Wanjiru Juguna of the Kiambu Law Courts will be detained for 10 days as the court directed to allow time for further investigations.
The nature of the investigations that are conducted with reference to this nature of offense, I exercise my discretion and allow the application. However, I direct that the respondent shall only be detained for 10 days, during which period the IO should proceed and conduct his investigations. A matter shall be mentioned after the 10 days.
Meanwhile, Njomo's family in Genko Village, Kiambu County, is grappling with the loss of their beloved son, described as being their prime and recently celebrating life success. Njomo leaves behind a grieving family, including his 28-year-old pregnant wife, awaiting their second child.
He was a jolly young man, very full of life. Having started working properly less than a year ago, married with a 2.5-year-old boy and another one on the way. I would say he was at the peak of his life. Gotten a good job. He's an electrical engineer with the American Embassy. And his friends and his brothers and his relatives will tell you, a jolly young man, very generous to the core.
Martin Masharia, Lookuptv.
Now, over 1,000 flood victims in Merti, Isiolo County, have received relief food and personal effects from a direct aid organization. The donations are part of the organization's objective to reach all victims of floods in the northern counties and the North Coast regions.
More than 1,400 people residing in camps in Merti sub-county have received donations of rice, sugar, mosquito nets, among other items from the Direct Aid Organization, a Kuwait humanitarian organization based in Kenya.
Mimi ni mwathirika wa maji, tuliathiriwa na maji kidogo, tuko na shida kidogo. Sasa tumeshukuru, alhamdulillah, tumepata chakula, tumepata maharagwe, mafuta, unga na sukari, tumepata kila kitu. Tumewashukuru wenye wametupatia.
Direct Aid Relief Manager for 3 northeastern counties of Isiolo, Marsabit and Mandera has said that the donations are part of the organization's purpose to reach all flood victims in the northern counties and the North Coast regions.
Leo tuko hapa Merti sub-county, Merti sub-county katika Isiolo County. Tuko hapo kusaidia wale ambao wamekuwa affected na floods ya juzi na Benedi. Sukari na homa. Saa hii tuko kugawa chakula katika nchi yote. Juzi tulikuwa Marsabit. Kabla hiyo tulikuwa Lamu, tulikuwa Hola kugawa chakula, tulikuwa Wajia. Leo tuko hapa Merti. Bado tunaendelea inshallah, tunaenda Kilifi, tunaenda Mandera, tunaenda Garissa. We are targeting about 10,000.
Merti is among areas severely affected by floods after River Wasonyiro burst its banks, and currently 7 schools are still closed as they are submerged in water. Beatrice Ndanu, Lookuptv.
Let's talk business now. On micro, small and medium enterprises are set to benefit from easier access to loans if a new bill that aims to provide a favorable financial environment for business is passed and implemented. Here's been Minor with the details.
Small business owners will soon benefit big if a draft bill credit guarantee policy and amendments to CBK Act, which is currently at the late stages of public participation, is passed.
Mheshimiwa Daktari William RUTO imewekeana kipaumbele sawa kwa wale wafanyakazi ama wafanyabiashara wadogo ili kuweza kuwainua, kwa sababu miongoni mwao ndio wametoa ajira kubwa.
It is aimed at providing a conducive policy, legal and regulatory environment for credit guarantees and promote the development of a strong, competitive and inclusive financial sector as a key component and an enabling environment for MSMEs.
Tunapongeza serikali yetu kwa kuja na mikakati ya kutajirisha watu yetu. Hii ni mpango mzuri.
Stephen Jeru, an economics expert in the Department of Associations and Small Businesses, has urged lending organizations to fund small businesses and provide low-interest loans to enable businesses to thrive. He also stated that easy access to loans will improve the income of small businesses, a move that will boost the nation's economy.
Economic domestic product to the economy. Kwa sasa tunataka kuwa there are about 16 million Kenyans employed in the MSME sector. Hao ni Wakenya wengi zaidi, lakini mapato yao ni madogo. Already we are working with the banks who are Sharia compliant, na pia tutakuwa na muda wa kuketi chini na Sharia expert ambaye ataangalia sera hii yetu.
Lookuptv.
Now, clinical officers in Mombasa have today held a protest to pressure both the national and county governments to address 3 pertinent issues and end their strike. Led by their chairperson, Peter Washira, they have vowed to stay on the streets until a resolve is made. This and more in our county wrap with Stephanie Agege.
The 58-day clinical officers strike has left many Kenyans lacking proper medical services in public hospitals, while the secondary and primary teachers warned Mombasa and Kwale county officials using threats against clinical officers participating in the strike, stating that they will personally be held accountable for this threat in court and not the county. This is after they were allocated billions for hiring, but they demanded half of that allocation to end their strike.
Lazima tuhakikishe heshima na haki imedumishwa. Kwa ule muda ambao wanataka sisi tukue katika huu mgomo, leo tuko siku ya 58. Lakini hata kama wanataka tuende siku 100 ama tuende siku 150, sisi tuko tayari.
Kwa hivyo sisi hatuoni kuwa tunadhulumu. In fact, serikali ndio inadhulumu wananchi. Kwa sababu wangetaka wananchi wahudumiwe, huu mgomo ungeisha kitambo sana.
Elsewhere, Naivasha MP Jane Kihaber has praised the ongoing fight against illicit brew despite it facing stiff opposition. Speaking during the activation for floodlights in Guest Estate in Naivasha, she highlighted the positive impact of the operation on youth and crime reduction in urban areas affected by illegal alcohol, which coincides with petty crimes like mugging and housebreaking.
Mambo ya pombe ambayo serikali inapigana naye na ACC ametanja. Hii pombe haramu, tafadhalini vijana na bangi. Tafadhalini na waomba. Unajua bangi ni wazimu tu. Hata kama unavuta leo unasikia ni mzuri, unajua wewe unaelekea sasa madhara kuwa wazimu. Kwa hivyo vijana,
tumeshukuru kwa hii taa kuhakikishwa na mheshimiwa. Hakika hii area imekuwa na shida kubwa kwa sababu watu wamekuwa wakipigiwa hapa.
Finally, the Kenya Drylands Education Fund has initiated a food for fee program that has benefited 1,600 needy students in Laikipia North, Marsabit, and Samburu counties. The program aims to support students facing challenges in paying school fees due to drought. The collaboration with local partners, including the Laikipia MP, demonstrates a commitment to supporting education in the region.
Sababu vita ilitufukusa kwa mali, sisi tulikuwa karibu na shule. Sasa tulihamia mbali kidogo karibu na kwa shule kilomita 2. Sasa mtoto akitembea hapa mpaka huko ni shida.
Let's get sporty now. And Safaricom has injected 15 million shillings towards the 2024 Rhino charge to support Adil Khawaja and his team of 4. In addition to the 15 million shillings sponsorship, Safaricom will also provide network connectivity at key areas of the event. The event, which will field 58 cars, is set for June 1st in Kajiado County.
That's great. So we can take a photo with the check.
It's an opportunity for us to continue on with the partnership that we've had for the past 2 years with the Rhino Church, and a partnership that extends beyond that with the Rhino Arc Charitable Trust, with the sole purpose of conserving our environment. So the Rhino Church, as many of you may be aware, is a church that takes drivers in a race against nature itself, trying to beat time to get to a particular spot within the shortest time possible. So this sponsorship is an extension of our purpose journey. As many of you may know, that our purpose is to transform lives, and it's our firm belief that it is our responsibility, along with other members of our community, to take care of our environment and to conserve it also for the future generations.
So the car is like every charger. Everybody's waiting for the last minute to get everything buttoned up. So everybody's busy getting their cars ready. Hopefully mine will be ready by this weekend. And we did some testing last weekend. It all ran well. So we should be ready by this weekend.
All Saints Embu High School has hit the ground running in preparation for the East African Championship in August. The Eastern Region champions dethroned Butula Boys High School by winning 12-10 to win the national title for the first time. The team has been training at the high altitude areas of Mount Kenya in readiness for the East African Rugby Championship in Uganda. All Saints Embu High School will be joined by Kitunda School and Butula Boys High School in the championship.
Put the boys in a position whereby that they have to put in more effort to bring up more structures that they missed during the national games. And generally the game, as you can see, the game compatibility is coming in well. And the boys, we can say from the nationals to where they are, we can say we can give them maybe a 7 out of 10 as we prepare for getting the podium finish in Uganda.
Say that we are working better now. We are working back into, we are eating gym more. And we are sticking here for our game plans, and we are having some changes here and there that didn't work to us, but it's not that much that we are changing, but it's just increasing what we had, eating more of gym, and getting the boys focused to go and win in Uganda.
On our diet, we are eating a lot of food, going to the gym, field work, ball work, and we are also going for the morning run, hill work, and some tactics from our players, our coaches, some players even from the clubs like Oilers. They are offering to come and train us so that we can be ready for the Uganda games. Yeah.
Now, finally, action resumes in the Enterprise Cup this weekend with semi-final action in Kakamega and Nairobi. Defending champions Cabral Sugar face a stand test against non-script at the Kakamega Showground in a quest to win the title for the second year. The second semi-final will take place at the KCB Sports Club in Ruaraka, where KCB will play against Kenya Harlequins in a widely anticipated fixture. Well, thank you very much for staying with us through the entire bulletin. And thanks. See you again tomorrow. Do have yourself a lovely evening. And like always, God bless.